We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you breaking news. We at Classic Elite have a new weapon in our arsenal in the form of the Twin Famicom. This is a neat little system. It is a combination of... I'm trying to get this... a good shot of this. There we go. It is a combination of the Famicom and the Famicom disk system. It's made by Sharp, so it's not actually made by Nintendo, but it was licensed to Sharp. And on the front here we have, this is the reset button, this is the power button. Ooh, it was turned on. And this is actually an eject button. It's kind of like a proto Super Nintendo that way. Here up on top, this is your selector switch. So right now it's actually selecting the Famicom disk portion. So we're gonna, if you push it down, you can actually insert a Famicom game and pop it out. And this right here is the disk system portion, and the disk system takes these little guys, and they're really cool. They are these, well, the early versions that you see here, it doesn't actually have a protector on it. Like the little, usually there's a little metal clip here that protects the actual like magnetic disc inside that, the magnetic platter rather, inside that actually holds the data. And because that, a lot of these old games can have problems working, and these are also rewritable. Back in the 80s when these were popular, well, popular in air quotes, there were kiosks where you could take your, let's say you had Castlevania and you didn't want to play Castlevania anymore. Well, you're a monster. You shouldn't be allowed to have video games at that point, but this is hypothetical. You don't want to play Castlevania anymore. You take it to this kiosk, you put in your Castlevania disc, you select what game you want, it'll write it to that for about 500 yen, which nowadays the exchange rate's about 100 yen to $1, so it'd be $5 now, but back then, I don't know. I don't remember if the yen was stronger than the dollar at that point, but and it would even have a sticker to place on it. If you get a disc that's been rewritten a couple of times, then you may see like 3 or 4 stickers on top of one another. That's something that you have to keep in mind when you are collecting for the system, or if you before you choose to collect for the system, is the medium, the Famicom disk medium is not particularly the most reliable, and if you are bidding on a game, you want to make sure that the game that you're bidding on is actually the one that you want. So yeah, there's a lot of risk in Famicom disk collecting. Not something I'm particularly interested in right now. I'm not trying to get every Famicom disk system game. I just want the big ones. Like the first one I bought was Castlevania. I got it complete, and I also wanted it to play my. I already own like 3 or 4 Famicom games that I posted a video of a few months back about how you could do a hack using Famicom to Nintendo converter that you can find in some Nintendo games. But it doesn't look the best, and I wanted a more reliable way of playing those games. And I'm actually going to kind of give you guys a demonstration of the... I did an Akamajo Densetsu walkthrough, and I think I stated several times that the music is going to sound weird because the Nintendo doesn't know how to use the VRC6 chip inside the Famicom cart. So I'm going to do a demonstration of like the Castlevania 3 on Nintendo, and then Akamajo Densetsu played through my Nintendo using the converter, and then the actual Akamajo Densetsu on a Famicom. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. And there you have it, guys. There is the sound comparison between the three different formats of Castlevania 3 that I own. And I'm going to go ahead and end this by showing you guys the best part, which is the Famicom Disk System part, and I'm going to show you Castlevania, the original. So let's go ahead and jump into that. Alright, that is the Famicom startup in all of its glory. Mario and Luigi are going to start acting a fool here. Let's go ahead and get started, guys. Alright, as you can see, I've already made myself a profile, and actually I've beaten it once. I think the 0-1 there is I continued one time. You have to die enough times to lose your life, all your lives, to actually save the game. And it does save. You can totally pick up your progress from where you started. How many more people would have finished this game if you could do that in the NES release? Loading. Gotta flip the disc. Another thing about the disc system is the band on the inside is notoriously it can be fragile. If you are looking to buy a disc system, you're probably going to want to look for one that has recently had that band changed out, so it's new. But also, if you're worried about it breaking later on, there is enough people selling those bands on eBay, and I'm sure there's enough YouTube videos that you could probably change it yourself. I'm personally not too worried about that. I'm sure I can just switch it out if that comes to that. Oh, that was like the worst thing that could happen. I did not want a stopwatch. Oh, it's not the worst thing that could happen. That's it. Well, hey, thanks, zombie. Hey, zombies are nice people sometimes. I think they get a little, they deserve more credit. I'm gonna speed run. Speedrun tactics. Speedrun tactics. Nope. I missed it. I'm gonna try again. Nailed it. Kind of. You're supposed to do it the first time. I don't think it saves as much time if you have to repeat it. Down to the right, down to the left. And you're a dead bat. I've been trying to do a no-death run for the original Castlevania. I had a pretty good one going, and what happened? I was in the stage where you fight death, and I accidentally picked up a knife and accidentally got rid of my trip holy water. It kind of threw me off my game. I may have been able to continue from that point forward, but I don't know. It's kind of like a shooter. I do well until I die the first time, and after that, my mojo is just kind of gone, and I basically have to start over if I want to do it well in any way. So this was Castlevania was originally a 1986 Famicom disk system release, and we later on got the Nintendo version, and let's see, there was like a bunch of chip shortages around that time. I think that was 87, 88, but later on, during the late in the Famicom's life, I think it was like 91. They actually released a Famicom cartridge version of Castlevania, which actually had an easy mode. But that is somewhat rare, and it'll cost you like hundreds of dollars. Well, not hundreds, but it'll be in the $100 range, at least. You will pay triple digits for it, unless you get some sort of sweet deal. But, oh, man. That is super unfortunate. I am just... Oh, I never die there. What is going on? I guess I'm too busy thinking about Famicom cartridges. Penis, man. I'm never gonna be a speedrunner. But that is something I would like to own. I'd like to own the Japanese Famicom Castlevania. I'd like to own all copies of all Castlevania games, but I don't know how feasible that is. That would require a lot of different kinds of hardware. That would require a lot of space because there's like MSX and Commodore versions and so forth. I just don't know if that would be the smartest thing to do with the space in my house. Or the money in my account, for that matter. Whatever. You got a dream, right? There we go, we're back to trip holy water. There we go. Dadgummit, my skeletons seem to be kind of a pest. You know what, guys? I think this will do it for the Castlevania Famicom Disk System version. Or I guess, technically I should call it, like, what was it? Akamajo Dracula. Demon Castle Dracula. But, let me, I just had an idea. Let me actually show you guys, Wai Wai World 2, one of Konami's other games that I own for the Famicom. So, short break, we'll be back. Alright guys, this is Konami Wai Wai World 2 SOS, something about parsley. I don't remember the entire name, but you see 2 players here. It actually does have 2-player simultaneous co-op. But we're going to go ahead and start with 1 player. And this is the cool part about these games, the Konami Wai Wai World games, is you get to play as protagonists from a bunch of different Konami games. So let's go ahead and choose this bottom roster here. And the one I chose, I think it's Bokate Upa, which is from the Biomiracle game, which is a Famicom Disk System exclusive. I don't think the main protagonist here that you play as, I don't think he is from anything. I think he's just from this game. He's a character made for this game. But down below you see it says 1 player, then my life, and then below that it's a baby, a whip, and a gun. And that means I can choose at any given time, once I get the little change block, I can choose between Upa, Simon Belmont, or Lance, or is it Bill from Contra? But let's see here. I'm gonna wait, and I'm gonna choose Simon Belmont. There we go. All right, so now as Simon Belmont, I can obviously whip things. Some of the characters have like a charge attack, where if you hold it for a specific period of time and let go, it will clear the screen of enemies. And others have different advantages. Like Lance is, or the Contra guy has, he can shoot in like 3 directions. He can shoot up, left, right, and he may be able to shoot down. So that's really convenient to have for the boss fights. The extra characters that you turn into will, if you get hit, they don't actually take damage. You just have a specific amount of time. You see the time counting down in the middle there. I only have 20 more seconds to be Simon Belmont. Unless I pick up health, which extends time, or I got another change block, which will allow me to change into somebody else. So if I really want to keep going as Simon, I can do that, but I'm going to go ahead and change it. Oh, couldn't shoot that, that's weird. So he can shoot all over the place, he can shoot down, okay. I'm going to get my invincibility here, my invincibility star. Whoops. Another one. These guys are pretty generous. So this game is, or this stage rather, is auto-scrolling. Not every stage is like that. I was actually a little turned off by this weird auto-scrolling stage right at the beginning. Perhaps not the best design choice, but I guess it's not. Design choices aren't really something you want to bring up from a game released in 1989. It's really unfortunate that these games weren't released. Well, this game maybe wasn't released in the United States. This is the sequel to the first one. The first one I've really had trouble getting into. Mainly, not that the game itself is bad. It's when you walk forward, the screen doesn't start to scroll until you are about, I would say, 3/4 of the way towards the right side of the screen. So you have almost no time to react to the things that are coming at you. To include the jumps over the instant death pits. Like, really, really kind of broke their own game by not just by not controlling when the scrolling started on the screen. it's really, really unfortunate because the game itself is pretty cool. You start out with playing as Konami Man and Konami Woman, or Konami Lady, and you pick up different... you actually have to... It's kind of like Goonies 2, where you have to rescue people. You have to like rescue the characters. After you rescue them, you can play as them. Or perhaps maybe Buck Your Hair would be a better example. But yeah, all of it is kind of broken by that one simple fact that they kind of screwed the pooch when it came to the scrolling screen. Because the enemy, or the characters that you play as, you not only get that, but you not only get the character themselves, but you get their power-ups. Like, you get to play Simon Belmont, and he has a cross. And when you select Simon Belmont, which you can at any time, you don't actually have to have a charge thing to spend like you do in this one. It will automatically turn to Vampire Killer. The music does. And it's pretty cool, but it's just that one little thing that they easily could have changed that kind of breaks the game. It's really disappointing. Speaking of this game, since we're playing it, this game does a lot to kind of change the gameplay at any time. You can see I went from like this weird auto-scrolling stage to that shooter stage where you saw me shooting backwards. Like, if I hit the B button, I shoot to the left. If I hit the A button, I shoot to the right. And now I'm back in this auto-scrolling stage where it'll end with a boss fight, and after that, I'll actually go to a Goemon stage from it's Legend of the Mystical Ninja here in the United States, but I think it's, what is it, Ganbare Goemon in Japan. But after I finish that, you have there's diverging paths, and you know what, I'll go ahead and change it into Upa for you guys. Little baby with a rattle. But after the level bifurcates, you can actually choose 2 different levels, but then the game switches into Twin B. So you're playing this overhead shooter. I don't know if we'll make it to that. But I don't know, we'll see. Give me that. Let me do my charge up attack. Yeah, there we go. You just have to be careful, because if you get hit, or if, like, I just picked something up, it actually canceled the charge, and that was kind of weird. Oh, God. See, I'd have a little trouble recommending the first game. You have to be a super Konami fan that grew up in the 80s and 90s to enjoy that. However, I can recommend this game, so if you can track yourself down a Famicom converter from an old NES game. You can pick this game up for, I don't know, maybe $30, card only. Maybe a little bit less. I don't know. It's been a while since I priced this. Oh, I died. Sorry, I got myself through almost that entire obstacle. This game is kind of easy. If there's anything that I would, any con I would say was it's pretty easy. Like the first time I played this, I got to the Twin B level, and then that night I picked it up from there. And because it does have password functionality, which you guys saw at the beginning. But I started level 3 and I actually played through the rest of the game. Like the level before last is actually a Gradius stage. So yeah, this game is really cool. It's a love letter to all Castlevania, Konami fans. A little too close there. Oh, it landed on me. It's no good. Oh. Jeepers. Splash damage. There we go. That was poor performance, guys. Sorry about that. They even spelled congratulations right. Whoops. Oh, alright. Guess I'm gonna go ahead and cut it here because I'm starting to play horribly. I think my coffee's wearing off. But I will catch you guys on the flip side. I hope you are excited to see the Twin Famicom in our videos later on. And I'll catch you next video, guys. Peace out.